Connecting.
Okay, is this better?
A little bit. Let's go with it. You look great, and that's what's important, really, isn't it?
Yes.
We're not here to talk about hearing. We're here to talk about skin.
Right.
Well, welcome,
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank
Ava.
you. Thank you. I know we spoke on the phone briefly the other night, but I didn't get to see your beautiful, your handsome visage.
Well, here I am. Here I am in the real. So I just want to start by just introducing you to all of the Instagram followers, listeners, audience out there, and just tell them who you are for the people who don't know, who have been living under a rock. Dr. Samban is, you don't even have to know her last name because everyone calls her Dr. Ava. She's like Beyonce, Charo, Madonna. It's just Dr. Ava, so don't even worry about her last name. Dr. Ava is a celeb dermatologist based in Beverly Hills, and I can go on and on introducing her. She's been on a lot of TV. She's been on a couple of my favorite programs, Extreme Makeover and The Doctors, which I love, a lot more than that. She's been in too many magazines to list. Marie Claire, Real Simple. I mean, you've been in really every magazine.
At this point, really every magazine. Most recently in Elle, and this month in W. Yeah.
Well, those are two pretty good ones, Dr. Ava. Yeah, I'll take those. So Elle and W. I know you are a Harvard graduate, magna cum laude. It's about the only Latin I know, but 3 important Latin words to know, which means she's real smart. And you're a researcher. I know you do that. And I'll just say that I live in LA, and you are one of there's only probably a handful of dermatologists in, LA, Beverly Hills. I can count on one hand that just have really good name recognition and a good reputation. You're one of them. So I'm so excited to have you here today. I'm going to be talking to Dr. Ava about her new box called La Box. It's a seasonal box curated by her. We're going to talk about why she started it, her inspiration, what's in the box, what's coming up in the box. We're going to talk about what makes her tick, why she's a dermatologist, why she loves skin, why she loves helping people look amazing. So let's just start with that. Let's just start. I already gave you your accolades, but tell us a little bit about, how long you've been a dermatologist, why you became a dermatologist, and what you love about your patients' dermatology and skin.
Okay, so I was originally a general practitioner. I did my training in Cleveland, and then I moved out here and I worked in a public health clinic up in the Salinas Valley for a couple of years. And then my roommate from medical school said, I think you'd really like dermatology because it's a little bit of medicine and a little bit of surgery. And so I came down to Los Angeles and I did my training in dermatology. And then while I was training, I had already done some basic science research as an undergrad. And so I went back into the laboratory and started to look at the expression of the collagen in the elastin gene. Because it turns out that there are a lot of inherited conditions of the skin that show alterations in those 2 main proteins in the skin. And of course, as we age, we lose collagen and we lose elastin. And so all of that early work really kind of set me up because it's informed really every step of the way. And at the moment, I don't think anybody in LA can frown anymore.
No, we don't frown here. We don't smile, we don't frown. We don't really do much.
No, you can smile. We just don't want to have a frowny face. And so then I do, and then I also now I do more patient-oriented clinical research, where we look at all the products that you hear talked about, whether it's Botox or Dysport or Xeomin. I've done a trial with each one of those, and then fillers for these kind of lines and also for cheek contouring. And
I'm going to interrupt you because I know there are questions out there that people have that I have, and so I just want to make sure people get some of those answered. So I'm going to interrupt you on this. There's a lot of information.
Okay.
Going back to what you said about, I think you were talking about genes and genetics.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of, are you talking about like nature and nurture? Like some of it just comes with who we are and it's in our genes?
Yeah, some of aging or changes as we become more mature, yes, some of it's in your genes. And so you can look at your family members who are the next generation up, and you can kind of get a picture about how you would age without any help. And so that's where the prejuvenation comes in, because you want to be able to kind of change that path. And so, yes, so that's sort of, there's some aging that's in your genes. And then other aging has to do with exposure to the elements, whether it's too much sun or exposure to pollutants or, blue light. There's all kinds of other contributing factors that accelerate aging.
Okay, so I heard a few things there. What's blue light?
So blue light is really, that's the light that comes off of your tablet and your
And that's bad?
Yeah, it's bad. You have to get a special, that's why people should wear sunscreen indoors, because
okay. This is information. This is new information for me about sunscreen indoors and blue light. I actually, on my new iPhone, I did get a filter that filters out blue light.
Yeah.
On there. So, and I was like, I don't know why I got that. It's supposed to be good, but glad I did, I guess. So that's interesting that it can really just impact your skin sitting in front of a computer. Okay.
Yeah, it causes some, the nasty free radicals, and they're what kind of chew up your skin. And then, of course, if you're eating a diet that's very high in sugar, and for a lot of us, we don't handle sugar that well. It doesn't, we get low in insulin as we get older, and the sugar doesn't go into our cells. And so if it stays in the bloodstream, then it can glom onto the collagen bundles and damage them. And so then the body sees these damaged collagen bundles and it chews them up, and that's, you get skin sagging primarily.
Okay, I always want to break this down for laymen, which I'm a layman. People, if they're a layman, you're not a layman, you're super smart. So I want people to understand, because I think sugar is like a drug. I don't really love eating, but I love sugar. I do love sugar, but I control myself. So yeah, just explain a little bit, again, in layman's terms, like what sugar really does, because I don't think I knew there was a correlation between really sugar and your skin either.
Yeah, it's a sad correlation because so many people do love sugar.
Yeah.
And so what happens is when we eat, when we have, like, if you're having anywhere from a donut to like your favorite piece of cake to even like some highly processed breads, then as you metabolize it, it goes into your small intestine, and then it's, released into your bloodstream or picked up in your bloodstream. And so to get that sugar back into the cells where it's needed, you need insulin, which is a hormone produced in your body to help drive that sugar into the cells. So the cells have, energy, so they can create energy with it. Now, if your insulin levels drop, which is very frequent because we eat too much sugar actually as a population, then all this sugar is hanging around in your bloodstream and it gets stuck onto the collagen, which is the main protein in the skin.
Wait. The sugar gets stuck onto the collagen?
That's right. It gets stuck onto the collagen, and it forms something called AGEs, which stands for Advanced Glycation End Products. So yeah, it gloms onto the collagen. It's sticky.
Okay, all you need to tell me is that sugar is doing that to the collagen. And listen, there's one thing I like more than sugar: good skin and looking young and looking good. So
right, that's right. You might have to change your sugar habit. That's why they call it habit, because it's
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Okay. So the sugar, the blue light. Okay, let's talk about the pollutants, because obviously they get worse and worse. We get exposed to them, and depending where we live. You and I know that where we live is not great in LA. Talk about, and also, will you explain, because I know you hear about free radicals. All I know is that they're bad, but really, what are they?
Okay, so let's start with the pollutants. So in a city, we have a lot of soot. There's kind of a lot of like tiny little dust particles that are stirred up by all of the cars, and they also, by the way, are very prominent in the farming communities.
Oh, okay.
Like little pieces of soot. But in an area where there's higher pollution, I don't know if you ever look at the air quality here in LA. A lot of times the air quality is not good. It's mostly moderate. So what that means is there are hydrocarbons, and those are gases that are released from the car exhaust, essentially. And so that's why we want to go, more electric, because then it's going to be better for our skin. Anyway, these hydrocarbons, they're also sticky. And so they glom onto these tiny little soot particles. And then they're so tiny that they stick to the skin, and then they can enter the skin through the pore. And so they're toxic. They're poisonous to your cells. And so that's where the pollution comes in. And then your other question about what are free radicals?
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine that you've got you're at a wedding and there's somebody drunk there who's running around so drunk and bashing into people and harming them. Okay. And that's kind of what a free radical is. It's an uncontrolled, drunken, electron.
What releases them? What kind of things release free radicals?
So free radicals are created by ultraviolet exposure. They can also, we make some free radicals ourselves from just our native metabolism. And so that's why there's a mechanism to help get rid of these free radicals. Just we have it intrinsically, but we like to help that mechanism on our skin because it gets overwhelmed. But
okay, so you've listed a lot of things, which I know some people knew, some people didn't, but it's not good for the skin. I just want to mention, and you please correct me because by no means am I an expert, scientist, or doctor, but the skin is an organ, correct?
That's correct.
And it's our largest organ?
Yes, absolutely.
Correct. And is our only organ that's exposed to the outside world?
Well, no, your eyes.
Right, eyes. Okay. But, it's a big organ. So I kind of feel like we do need to be able to take care of it. Yeah.
Oh, we absolutely need to take care of it. Our skin serves so many different functions. It's so impressive. So yes, it's our largest organ. Our skin it's the Great Wall of China. It's designed to first protect us. So it protects us against entry of viruses, bacteria, fungus, and even to the best of its ability, things like splinters, insect bites. It's a big protection. It's a shield. It's like one of those shields from a sci-fi movie. And
let's talk about more the beauty side of it, because the aesthetic side of it, and that because yes, everyone knows that it's important from a health standpoint. But from the aesthetic point of view, what are the things people should be aware of with their skin? Take us through your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and when you get older, what kind of things should you be aware of? Should you be doing? Should you think you should not be doing things that we're doing too much of? Things that you do in your practice, examples to take care of your skin.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the other functions of the skin is it serves as an advertisement for health and for beauty. And so when we look beautiful, and you're in the beauty business as well, you're going to attract other people to you of both sexes. And it's also good for business. It's good for anything that you're doing out in the world. So because when you look healthy, everybody kind of does this below the conscious mind. They say, oh, this person, their skin looks healthy. They are healthy. It's all these kind of subliminal suggestions that are made. So, you asked, so in that list of questions, so I became very interested in making sure that people's skin, you start with healthy skin, because when your skin is healthy, then that is like 20 steps towards skin beauty. Yeah. And so that's why I came up with this idea for doing the box, because to have healthy skin, you have to have good quality product. So the box by Dr. Ava not only can provide you with that product, but also with a community. But let's go back to some of the questions. So the other part of skincare is if you have good skincare, you can literally change the way you age. And that's the goal, right? You want to look your best possible at any point in time, but you certainly, as time goes forward, you certainly want to look, better than you would have if you weren't using good skincare, if you weren't following healthy skin habits. So, so knowing that, that's number one. And then number two, if you start to look at like what happens to the skin as we go decade by decade by decade, well, as you can imagine, you know, when you're in your 20s, you're kind of in the full bloom of beauty and everything is wonderful. But even so, what happens a lot of times in the 20s is people still are battling breakouts. They can still have some acne. And there's adult female acne that can be a big problem. Another issue in the 20s is melasma. It's that skin discoloration that people get. They get it kind of across the middle of their face, often on their upper lip, sometimes on their forehead. And this skin discoloration can be accelerated by hormonal changes, sun exposure. So that's the 20s. And you can kind of go through decade by decade.
What's the difference between melasma and rosacea?
Okay, that's a great question. Okay, so melasma is...
Drink water, by the way.
Right. Yeah, where's my water? Yeah, I rushed in here from work. So,
that's good. That's important, I know.
That's important. Water is very important, yeah, for every organ in your body. So melasma it's an increase in pigmentation, and no one exactly knows the cause, and it certainly does run in families, but it's brown. It's darker brown than your skin, and it's typically upper lip and forehead, and it's hormonally related. So people may never have had melasma. They start on a birth control pill, they get melasma, and it's much more common in women, much less common in men. So it does seem to be related to estrogen levels.
And is it treatable?
It's treatable, but it's a chronic condition. Melasma is a condition that you clear it up, but it'll come right back if you don't continue treatment. So the treatment often involves some kind of a skin lightener, whether it's something like hydroquinone. There are a lot of other molecules like hydroquinone, like arbutin, and then you add in antioxidants such as vitamin C, obviously sunscreen. And then in every patient who has melasma, I use something in the retinoid category. So those are the vitamin A derivatives. And so
I use retinoid. I love retinoids.
Yeah, it's the best for your skin. It makes it smooth. It gives it a nice glow. And so that is a lifelong, you keep going on lifelong with the retinoid. It's good for your skin no matter what age you are, and it will really help combat the melasma.
It's part of a skin routine.
It's part of a skin routine. Now, rosacea is a completely different condition. Rosacea is an inflammatory condition of the skin, and it can have different forms. Sometimes rosacea affects even around the eyes. Sometimes it affects the nose. People get what's called a rhinophyma, kind of a big bulbous nose. Most of the time, rosacea are what people call broken capillaries, and sometimes just sort of a redness and a flushing. And the flushing gets worse when you are exposed to heat or spicy foods, anything that makes you flush. Wine,
alcohol.
Yeah. I shouldn't have called out wine. I should have just said alcohol. Yeah.
Alcohol.
Anything that makes you flush. And so rosacea is treated we use all different kinds of modalities to treat rosacea, beginning with effective skin cream, and then a lot of people need some laser to treat the increase in blood vessels. And men and women, both men and women get rosacea.
Okay, I can speak to you for 4 hours about a lot of, I want to make sure we talk about the box. Yes. So I want to ask you, the box, first I want to show people because you were nice enough to send me one. This is the box, and I'll show people what's in it in a minute, but I want to ask you, this is a subscription box that you started, curated by you, things that you think are useful, important. Why did you start with the box? What inspired you? And how did you pick the things for the first box?
Yeah. Okay. So during the time of COVID, I had some time to really kind of think about things and be creative. And of course, especially during our first lockdown, we weren't going to any stores. And so I started looking at different subscription boxes because, you can get in everything from fruit to tequila to clothing to you name it on a subscription box. And so then I looked at the boxes that are more oriented towards skincare, and I thought, well, who's really curating these boxes? And then I realized that there was no dermatologist curated skincare box. And I thought, well, I know a lot about skincare, and I want to be able to share my expertise with people. You know, why should an influencer who doesn't know anything about, I mean, they may know a little bit about skin, but they don't have, you know, they're not a board certified dermatologist. So that was how I thought, well, I want to be able to provide the convenience of having something arrive in the mail along with my expertise. And then I also really felt it was so important to create a community where you could have your questions answered, and where also we can have like a private portal where we post, you know, information like a lot of the questions you're asking, like what happens with my skin in 20s, 30s, 40s, and some questions that I'm seeing here. Oh, Catherine, thank you. Catherine says, oh, you cured my rosacea. And, you know, questions. And so it becomes, so it's not only a community, but it's also a box. And I wanted to do it seasonally.
Well, okay, so the first one, I just want to show people what's in this. And I can talk to a couple of the things because I've used them. So I'm going to tell you what's in it. But this is the first box. Really, really nice presentation. And then the first thing is the Tizo sunscreen. I love Tizo sunscreen. I have a couple questions about sunscreen, but I know we're here to talk about TrueSculpt Flex, so we'll get there shortly. But sunscreen, I'm a little confused about because I know you're supposed to wear it, but I, like a lot of people I know, have a vitamin D deficiency. And so where's that balance between getting sun, wearing sunscreen? I hear that if you wear sunscreen, you don't necessarily get all the things that are good for you from vitamin D from the sun. So just, can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, there's been a lot of debate about sunscreen, especially here in the United States. But you know, is it dangerous? Should I wear it? What about vitamin D? And so first of all, is it dangerous? If you look at the statistics from Australia, in Australia, so many people were dying of skin cancer that Australia launched a huge public health service campaign called Slip, Slap, Shade. I don't know. It was 3 things. Anyway, yeah, well, the idea was just to cover yourself with sunscreen or to wear sun protective clothing. And their death rate from melanoma and also from metastatic squamous cell, you know, 2 very serious types of skin cancer, plummeted because people were protecting their skin. So we know that it doesn't increase the incidence of skin cancer. Now, vitamin D is an incredibly important vitamin for us to have. But the fact of the matter is that you can take a vitamin D supplement and have your levels checked. You don't have to sit in the sun to get your vitamin D levels up. What you take as a supplement, especially a vitamin D3 supplement, is just as good. And then you're protecting your skin from premature aging. We don't want
premature aging, people. We want to do that. We do. For those people who are, I don't know how old you think I am, but for people who are young, in their 20s, you start protecting yourself now. Really, start protecting yourself now. So, okay. The next product, which I'm about to start, is the Underskin. And it's very interesting because this is an elixir, and it's infused with colloidal gold, which I'm not sure what that does, but it sounds fancy and good, so I'm up for it.
Yeah, it's anti-inflammatory. And so
okay.
The elixir is designed to be used under a moisturizer or under your under your sunscreen. You can use it in the morning, you can use it in the evening, you can use it either way. And so the first box was just sort of a kind of almost like an intro box, but the quality of products is quite good. But that's what it does. It's both a hydrator to the skin and also provides some antioxidant effect.
Well, I just want to mention that this box is, I believe, $250 for the subscription. And what's in here is the cost of it is worth about $1,000 or over $1,000. So right around $1,000. It's a really good deal. So I know that. So the third thing is TrueSculpt Flex by Cutera. Now, I can speak to this for a second because I've done it. And let me just tell you why I love it. And then you can tell me why you love it. TrueSculpt Flex is a modality, and you can correct me if I get it wrong, but it's to stimulate your muscles and to help define different parts of your body. It could be used, I know, on I believe your stomach, your flanks, your side.
Yeah.
What?
Because you can do your obliques. You can get your
the obliques. Right.
Yeah.
So I know it's been approved for those areas, and it's non-invasive. It takes about is it 35 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes?
30 to 45.
Yeah, and I know it's recommended what you get 4 treatments.
Yes.
About 2 weeks. About what? 2 weeks? A week apart? Is it?
Yeah. Well, you want to do the 4 treatments in a 2 to 3 week period. Yes.
Right. So you do them in a 2 to 3 week period. So I'll just explain what I think it's like. I know it's different for everybody. It's interesting. If you go on my Instagram, and I will post this too. There are pictures before and after, and me getting it done. And it's these devices that are attached to the areas that are being treated, and it's a interesting sensation. I will tell you, it does not hurt at all. In fact, it tickled me, which I don't know if it does that for you or for some people. I was laughing. So laughing's better than hurting and screaming. So it's a really easy way. And something I did not share with you, Dr. Ava, is that I have a disc issue. It's in my back. And people can just stop with your comments. Whenever I say this, people say, I know there's help and you can do this. I've tried everything. It's a chronic disc problem. And I cannot work out. I can't work out anymore. And so this has been really a lifesaver for me to kind of stimulate the muscles to help me feel, good. It's like, it's when you do your stomach, it's like doing like 10,000 sit-ups in 45 minutes.
Yeah. The beauty of it is that the device creates a contraction in your muscle that's much more powerful than one that you could do on your own. So, like we like to say, no gym, no problem right now.
Right. But it's also great if you go to the gym as a way to kind of enhance what you're already doing.
Yes, that's exactly right. And the other thing is that in terms of, if you really think about it, the reason they call it the core is because it is your core, and it is designed to support kind of flailing arms and legs. And so because most of us do not have a strong enough core, we're kind of cheating with our back. And so when you cheat with your back, that's when you get a sore back. And if you've got a disc problem, it's even worse. So having a stronger core using this device really helps stabilize the back and support your legs. And Catherine asks, is this process like M-Sculpt? And yes, the answer is yes, it is.
So to your point about the core, I definitely notice that when I do it. The core is so important, and because there aren't exercises I can do, many at all. It was important for me to keep a strong core, and it's just it was a little bit of a godsend because of that. It really, really was helpful for that, but it was enjoyable. I mean, I'm very open. I've tried a lot of different things because I like to be a guinea pig in my body and try different things. And I love TrueSculpt. It's something that I do when I can. It's a great thing to do to get your body. You don't want to wait till the spring and summer till you're to start working on your body. You want to start to get it ready now. We're going to hopefully in 3, 4, 5 months be out there more. The weather will get nicer, April, May, and we kind of want to come there with a nice body. So this is a great thing to do. You can come into your office, a dermatologist office, and get this done. So just walk us through kind of what somebody can expect from it.
So any office that has a Cutera will honor the coupon. So if you're not close to one of my offices, then you can just go online and find one that is close. And there's someone here who mentioned that the TrueSculpt, you can also do it here to tighten up these muscles. And so that is true, because what's nice about the True Sculpt is a lot of the contact little pads. Well, they're not really pads; they're almost like a little box, and they're smaller, so you can kind of position them in different areas and do a bunch of different areas at once.
Kind of customize.
You can customize it, and you can also do. Didn't you tell me you did your triceps also?
I did, and I don't want to get anyone in trouble because I don't know if it's been like FDA approved for that area, but I will say that I did my triceps, and I worked out for years, and triceps are they're a tricky part to work out. They were for me. It's not the muscle that I built up really easily, and I was shocked. I got these really ropey, thick triceps. I mean, I would stand in front of the mirror and just like caress them because I was like couldn't believe I had them. Like seriously, I was like purring like it was no, really, I was like, okay, this is amazing. So, I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to do it on your triceps, but I did, and they were great.
Yeah, you
so
can
yes,
put it anywhere as long as it doesn't hurt a joint. You can certainly do it.
yeah.
It's very useful, and so to a certain extent, also sometimes people are recovering from surgery, like they've had knee surgery or shoulder.
Oh, someone just said, do I have to be a certain age to do True Sculpt? Probably.
No, you don't. Actually, you don't. I mean, would you do it in a child? No, you wouldn't do it in a child. But if you're over the age of 18, or 17, you can certainly do it. And sometimes there are teen athletes who are recovering from an injury, and with the physical therapy, they have to work a certain muscle. And so as long as that's cleared by your doctor, I think that would be a great use for it. But it's very versatile. And it's useful. So no, you don't really have to be a certain, it's not like you have to be 50, God forbid. No, you can do it much sooner than that. But I think that using the True Sculpt, and when I'm talking about versatility, is that you can use it in different, you can use it in your biceps, you can use it in your triceps, you can use it on your quadriceps, you can use it on the abdomen. So both the
Oh, and your glutes.
And your glutes, yeah.
Right.
You want to get that bottom up high. Raise it up
Yes,
high.
of course I've tried it there, and it gives you that nice, like, I felt higher and more confident. Like you said, it all goes back to confidence. So I did feel more confident because I don't want a saggy booty, Dr. Ava. We don't want a saggy booty. So yeah, there sounds like there's a lot of places you can use it. So I know there's no downtime, for it.
Yeah, no downtime.
Which is great. You can do it on a lunch break. I mean, I love this because it's not like, there's not really like prep for it. You kind of just go in, you get hooked up, you do it for, like I said, I think it's 45 minutes for a session. And then you're out the door. Maybe it was left at like maybe a little red for a day or something, or a few hours. But yeah, nothing. It was all it did was make me laugh. Who doesn't want a good laugh, especially during COVID? So
there's a question about, can you do all the sections at once? And so how many, someone answered from Cutera. Yes, you can do it on multiple areas at once. And then how many, when you did it, how many spots did you do at once? I mean, you must, if you do too many at once, so you can be like jumping up and down.
Well, I think, okay, is there eight, what do you call them? Not paddles. What did you just call them?
Yeah, they're kind of like a pad. I mean, it's not really, sort of like a paddle.
8 or 16, I can't remember.
8, yeah.
Right. So I did 8. Like I think I did them on my, the front of my stomach and then the sides, or I did them on my glutes and I did them on my sides at the same time. So yeah, however many, 4 sessions. Yes, 4 sessions. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's 4 sessions. So
4 sessions, 2-week period, or how closely did you do it? 2-week period, 4-week?
2-week period. I did 2 sessions in a week and then 2 more sessions the next week. Oh, yeah. And I mean, you get, like they say the results can take, you can see the results, it could take a few weeks. Things like that. You really start to see improvement. I mean, you see something at the end, but it improves over time. It's fascinating. Right. So if you do the 4 sessions, in the 2 weeks, what would be a good maintenance, do you think? Would it be like once a month after that? Once every 2 months?
No, I think you should do it maybe 2 treatments a quarter. I don't think you have to do it. But 2 treatments a quarter is basically what I've been doing. for myself, because of course with all these muscle tightening machines, it's hard. You gotta pry it away from the staff.
Of course.
Well, because you really see, it's really such a nice benefit to get some, tapering in your body, and you feel like some of the fat shrink just a little bit, and it probably has to do with a slight increase in muscle and increase in muscle metabolism, so that you get, your clothes fit better and you feel stronger. Feel stronger.
I was shocked because my clothes did fit better. I mean, they did. And I really only noticed it because things that were tight on me weren't anymore. And I then put it together. It was like, okay, this worked. And I looked better and I felt better and my clothes fit better. Who doesn't want that? You know what I mean? So for TrueSculpt, like, it's interesting as a dermatologist, you've been doing this so long. I think people, kind of think of dermatologists as like, okay, it's like kind of face things, right? And then aesthetic dermatology started, whenever it started, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and it started getting, yeah, just bigger. And then things like this that are below the face, it became another tool for a dermatologist. And why do you think it's important? Why do you like it? Why do you like to offer it? Why do you think it's important to have it in your arsenal for looking and feeling good? TrueSculpt.
Well, so when cosmetic dermatology first began, that time, the first people who had treatments were people who had birthmarks, like red birthmarks, like port wine stains, brown birthmarks. There's something called nevus evoda. So that's what we started with. And the red birthmarks can be anywhere on the body. And so then as some of the other treatments arrived, like the injectables, whether it was a muscle relaxer or a filler, as the other treatments came in, and then we started lasering the face, and all of a sudden the face looked one decade and the rest of the body looked a totally different decade. And so that was terrible. I call that the decade disconnect. So you have someone walking, how when someone's walking down the street and they have this long curly hair and they're, so kind of a Beverly Hills problem. And then the woman, and you think, oh, she's 25, and then she turns around and she's, oh my God, she's in her 70s or something. That's how we roll here.
You want everything to match, head to toe.
Want everything to match. So now in our offices, and also with at-home skincare, we treat, we call it the neck and deck. We treat everything, every inch of the body. And what has been the huge advance is we have for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years, we've been able to shrink fat in the body, but we haven't been able to do anything about the muscles. And so this device, along with a few other ones, have been a huge advance in being able to tighten the muscles. Because think about it, it's like a hanger. If you have kind of a strong hanger, the clothes are going to, well, this is where your work, the clothes are going to drape better. And so then by the same token, if your underlying structure, if your muscles are stronger, then your skin is going to drape better. And someone pointed out here, what did you point out? I bet just feeling better helps all over. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Beauty is a lifestyle choice.
Yeah, it is. And that's a great analogy what you said about the hanger. And it is interesting because, there are different ways to, kind of deal with fat, but then you want to still feel strong.
Right.
You want to feel strong. You want to feel toned. I mean, I know as a stylist that people, it's all about confidence. And I only deal with like on the outside. You deal with kind of more on the inside. And that's why I like the whole, A to Z process of the inside to the outside, connecting it all together. And this is why I love TrueSculpt, because like I said, it's such a great adjunct to working out, or for me, it's my workout. And like you mentioned too with athletes, just using it as part of their physical therapy to get back to where they are. It's such a really interesting modality that I think is going to work. And I just want to mention that Cutera TrueSculpt also has TrueSculpt ID, which I've done, which is kind of like their sister product, which is to get rid of the fat, which are paddles too, and that's heat. That's only 15 minutes. So it's a great kind of thing to use in unison together with the Flex. And I do want to mention again, going back to your box, not your box, well, your box, but not that box.
Got it.
That's a different Instagram live, Dr. Ava. That's for after midnight.
We call it, we call that Dr. Ava After Dark, but I like the Dr.
That's right, Dr. Ava After Dark. But The Box by Dr. Ava, I mean, it's such a good deal that, like I said, it's $750 about or more for a flex treatment, and the whole box, plus you get, you know, the Tizo, and you get the underskin product for $250.
Then you get the community. You get to, you know, you get to have a tele-aesthetic appointment. You get to ask me questions. I'll answer you directly. You know, it's. Can you
just touch on that for a second about exactly just a little bit more what else you get with that?
Just, I mean, part of it is joining a community of people who are committed to their skincare and also to having their questions answered. I mean, I've seen some questions in here we haven't had a chance to answer. But, you know, but it's a place where you get informed information from board certified dermatology or people, or I have, you know, physician's assistants or nurse practitioners, all of these people who have so much information that they can help you, whether you have melasma, you've got rosacea, like what skincare is right for you. You know, there's
is it a portal? You can ask questions, and it's a portal. Well, that's a great resource.
Yeah, right now we're starting with it. We have a Facebook page, but then we're developing the website. So that's where we go. Now, someone also asked about the fat in her face. I don't know if it's her or him. And, you know, it's an interesting question because sometimes people feel that if their faces are too round, well, first of all, you know, we like a round face because people are always coming in and they're super gaunt and they contour. But it turns out even with a rounder face, you can give contour by adding a little bit of volume. So, which is a separate, I was just answering that question because I know we're still talking about Cutera.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I was just like thinking about fat in your face. Well, I guess it depends where it is in your face, but I think women too, have become so self-critical and not any fault of their own just because of social media and all the things that, you know, things that they see and all the things they take in and the images and all that I really always try to, with my clients, and I imagine you do too, I just always try to like say wherever you just lift them up, you know, where they are in their journey. And I just want them to know that everybody is special. I mean, you know, I know I can make you look, you know, fabulous, and you can make someone look fabulous, but ultimately I want them to feel good and be confident.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe in a concept I call signature feature, which is that everybody has something beautiful and unique about them. And so it is usually the eyes or the mouth, but if you look from person to person, you notice that everybody has a unique shape and a unique color to their eye, and the same with their lip. And so all of the work that I do is designed to highlight or showcase what's specifically beautiful and memorable about a person. And so I think and that's true for the work you do, because everything you do is designed to bring out a person's best physical features.
Yeah, I just want to take the person. I don't want to change them. I want to just elevate them.
Right.
Just elevate them. Elevate the parts that not only are what they feel good about. I always say, what do you like about yourself? Let's just show that off more.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly. So that's why doing something to address kind of like the underpinnings. It's sort of like, I'm sure when you do clothes, you're like, what kind of brassiere are you wearing? You want to have good underwear, right? Or if you're wearing underwear that you can see the lines through the skirt, you know, that's no good. And so, right? And so that's the same thing. Like if you think about dermatology and muscle. So when your muscle is in good shape, then the rest of your skin is going to be better because it has more metabolism in the muscle that's going to support the skin better from a metabolic standpoint. So it's the same kind of principle, you know, underwear, muscle, you know.
Well, let's just get it. We'll just go into business together. Okay. We've been doing this. We've been talking for like 50 minutes. So I want to get to some questions that I think I have. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm glad you like
this is a funny one. How do I best address the COVID-19 that I've put on, oh, the COVID-19 that I put on the last 10 months of being home all the time. Well, I can answer that. True Sculpt Flex. Right? I mean, that is a thing, the COVID-19 that people, they're not out, they're stress eating, whatever it is.
Well, you're just way too close to your refrigerator.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of things from your point of view? I mean, obviously, the True Sculpt Flex is a great place to start. Like I mentioned, getting ready for spring and summer when hopefully we're going to be out and about a little bit more. What else would you suggest?
Yeah, January, February, a tough month. Okay, so what I would suggest is a routine. So I think when you're at home and you don't have a routine, yeah, drinking too, and you don't have a routine, that's a killer. So you need to have a time that you wake up. You don't binge watch television all night long so that then you're going to sleep until 8 or 8:30. It's like set time, wake up 7:30. Do your exercise first thing in the morning before you eat, because that way you have a little bit of a fast. You're going to make sure you don't have any of that sugar in your blood. So you want to have a routine. So you get up, exercise, and then write down a menu for the day. There's everything, so much is available online in terms of recipes and also just looking for menus. I mean, the key to weight loss is moving around more. Make sure you get 10,000 steps a day, and then eating more vegetables. So you want to fill up by drinking sparkling water. Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, drink water. It fills you up. And then filling your plate with vegetables and then just a little bit of protein. And, you have some carbs. But, donuts.
Tell us 3 healthy carbs we can have.
Well, the carbs, it's really about carbs that aren't rapidly absorbed. So if you can get to a bakery, someplace like Lodge Bread that uses grains that aren't, hyper processed, you can have bread. You can have a type of a bread. You can go online and find a recipe, a bread that's made mostly with nuts and seeds and maybe some oats. You can have oatmeal. You can put some honey in it and some apples and some dried fruit.
So that's a carb, right? Oatmeal's a carb?
Oatmeal's a carb, but it's more slowly absorbed. So,
okay, I know. Of course, I'm like, donuts. No, oatmeal's a carb, right? Okay, I have to remember that. Okay, a few more questions. Does True Sculpt Flex hurt? Already said that. No, not at all. Made me laugh. Just definitely doesn't hurt. How fit do I need to be to benefit from True Sculpt Flex? Well, I'm going to let you answer that. I don't think you need to be fit, right?
No, you don't need to be fit. You can't be too overweight, because if you have too much fat, it's not going to get through.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be fit at all. I mean, that's why it's so useful for people who are recovering from some kind of orthopedic surgery, that this device can be used to help restore some muscle tone, the True Sculpt.
Okay. And then let me see another one. Safe for all ages. We already addressed that. Here's a good one. How do you stay positive during these trying times, Dr. Ava?
It's how do I stay positive? I mean, it's a terrible time. I mean, so many people have become ill, and so many people have lost their lives.
But from a personal daily.
From a personal daily.
What kind of stuff do you do for yourself?
Oh, I walk a lot.
See, I can do that still. I can walk, so I walk a lot too.
Yeah, and I do all my calls while I'm walking. So I find that as I'm walking, and I do it first thing in the morning, so I'll walk anywhere from 3 to 6 miles, depending on the day.
Oh my, okay, I'm a little behind that. I need to catch up to you.
Yeah, so if you're walking for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, it's really, and then if you also turn off the music, you can do kind of a silent meditation. So I do a little bit of the meditation, and then I've gotten into cooking. I got into cooking. I never had a chance with all my busy life to cook.
I did too. And you know what? I actually found, not to brag, but I've actually been a lot healthier during this time.
Right.
Because I haven't been going out. I haven't been eating a lot of the food, the junk. So I've been cooking healthy. So I just want to remind people, go to follow TrueSculpt_Cutera on Instagram. Also, to find out more about The Box, you can follow The Box by Dr. Ava, and you can find out more. And I'm just going to show it one more time, because I love this box, and just kind of do your shout out that I'm excited to get my next one, whenever that will be, probably in a couple of months. The box is here. I imagine, I don't know, maybe you haven't that yet. I'm excited to see what you've picked. Don't tell us yet, but I'm excited to see, I'm excited to see what you've picked. And yeah, thanks for everybody for joining. Does anybody have any last minute questions? Do we want to know? But thank you so much. It was really great. I could be talking about this stuff. You know, this is like, I'm a stylist, but I'm also a closet, like, derm beauty modality person. So I love talking about this. Anytime you need a guinea pig, just give me a call.
Okay. And then you and I have a date, and you're going to come and you're going to be like, get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this.
Whatever you say, whatever you want to get rid of, you just do it. We'll take pictures and we'll post it. Okay. Okay. So can't wait to see you in real life.
Yes.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
And until next time.
Until next time. Thank you so much, Eric. What a treat.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.